Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to dive deep into one of the most iconic and historically significant coins ever produced by the United States Mint, the Washington Quarter Dollar. This coin, which first appeared in 1932, is far more than just a piece of everyday change. It's a reflection of American history, artistry, and numismatic evolution spanning nearly a century. The Washington Quarter was originally created to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, replacing the standing Liberty Quarter that had been minted since 1916. Sculptor John Flanagan designed the obverse portrait of George Washington based on Jean-Antoine Houdon's celebrated bust from 1785, giving it that instantly recognizable classical look that symbolizes leadership, honor, and national pride. The coin was first struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters and a weight of 6.25 grams, giving it that satisfying heft and shine collectors still admire today. From 1932 until 1964, the Washington Quarter remained silver, but as silver prices rose dramatically during the 1960s, the U.S. Mint shifted to a copper-nickel-clad composition starting in 1965, a change that transformed the coin from a precious metal piece to a more practical, everyday currency. Yet, this shift also created a fascinating divide among collectors. Silver quarters were now more desirable, and the hunt for pre-1965 examples began. The earliest silver quarters, especially from the 1930s, are among the most valuable coins in circulation today, and certain rare mint marks, errors, and varieties have sold for thousands, sometimes even tens of thousands, at major auctions. One of the most famous varieties is the 1932 D Washington Quarter, which was produced at the Denver Mint with a mintage of only 436,800 pieces, making it one of the lowest mintage regular issue quarters in 20th century U.S. history. Its counterpart, the 1932 S from San Francisco, is equally rare, and both coins are considered key dates by collectors. In pristine mint state condition, a 1932 D can command prices well over $20,000, while an exceptional gem quality specimen once sold for more than $80,000 at auction, proving how valuable these early issues can be. As we move through the decades, other fascinating details emerge. The 1934 double die obverse, for example, is a beloved era variety that shows strong doubling in the motto, "In God We Trust," and Washington's eye, adding significant value for error hunters. Then there's the 1943 S double die reverse, a subtle but prized variety with visible doubling on the lettering E pluribus unum. Even post-silver era quarters can carry significant worth due to striking errors or unique mint mistakes. For instance, off-center strikes, die breaks, often referred to as cuds, and double strikes from the 1970s and 1980s have fetched hundreds or even thousands depending on condition and visibility of the error. One of the most eye-catching discoveries in modern numismatics came from the 1970 S-proof Washington Quarter struck on a 1941 Canadian quarter planchet, which shocked collectors and sold for an incredible $35,000 in auction, a true testament to how even modern coins can hide incredible secrets. Meanwhile, the 1983 P Quarter without mint sets released that year is also extremely difficult to find in high-grade condition, leading some examples to fetch hundreds of dollars. The 1999 Connecticut State Quarter with the extra leaf, or spitting horse, die break errors are modern favorites that continue to generate buzz in the collecting community. The Washington Quarter's design itself has evolved dramatically over time, with major design programs reshaping its look and feel. After decades of consistency, 1999 marked the launch of the 50-State Quarters program, one of the most ambitious and popular coin programs in U.S. history. This series ran from 1999 to 2008, featuring unique reverse designs for each of the 50 states, turning millions of Americans into casual collectors and sparking a new numismatic renaissance. Some of the earliest releases in this program, like the 1999 Delaware Spitting Horse Error and the 2004 Wisconsin Extra Leaf varieties, have achieved cult status among collectors, selling for hundreds and sometimes thousands depending on the error's clarity. Following the state quarters, the 2009 D.C. and U.S. Territory series continue the concept with designs celebrating Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, Guam, American Samoa, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and the Northern Mariana Islands. Then came the 2010 to 2021 America the Beautiful Quarters program, which highlighted national parks and historic sites across the United States, an ambitious continuation of the storytelling power of coinage. Each of these programs brought new opportunities for rare mint errors and low mintage discoveries. For example, low mintage coins from the San Francisco Mint struck as proof issues can often command a premium, especially when preserved in flawless condition. Collectors also prize early San Francisco silver proofs from these programs, which maintain that lustrous mirror finish and carry high numismatic desirability. Let's not forget the unique transitional errors and special issues that make Washington quarters even more fascinating. During the transition from silver to clad in 1965, a small number of 1964 dated quarters were accidentally struck on clad planchets, and some 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover silver planchets. Both of these transitional errors are among the most valuable modern coins in existence, fetching upward of $10,000 to $15,000 depending on grading. Other varieties include the Type B reverse Washington quarters of the late 1950s and early 1960s, which were accidentally struck using a proof reverse die on regular circulation coins, easily recognizable by their sharply defined lettering and spacing. These are subtle treasures, often overlooked by casual collectors but highly prized by specialists. The artistry of John Flanagan design remained largely unchanged until 1998, when new variations began appearing due to the state quarters program. However, in 2022, the U.S. Mint began a new era of the quarter series known as the American Women Quarters program, featuring designs that honor pioneering American women while retaining a modernized portrait of Washington by sculptor Laura Garden Fraser, a design originally proposed in 1931 but rejected in favor of Flanagan at the time. This change brought historical justice to Fraser's vision, finally giving her artwork a rightful place in circulation after nearly 90 years. Collectors often wonder what makes one Washington quarter worth more than another, and the answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and error significance. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS and NGC as MS67 or higher can be worth exponentially more due to their immaculate preservation and visual appeal. Even a common-date 1950s quarter, if perfectly struck and virtually flawless, could reach four-figure prices at auction. The record-breaking sales for Washington quarters are staggering. The highest known auction price for a Washington quarter is the 1932 D in MS67 Plus condition, which sold for over $143,000, setting a benchmark for collectors worldwide. Similarly, a 1932 S quarter graded MS66 by PCGS once achieved a price of nearly $50,000, proving that condition is king in the world of numismatics. The Washington quarter dollar story doesn't end with its origin. It evolves into one of the most fascinating and dynamic coin series in the entire U.S. mint history, filled with modern twists, mysterious minting errors, hidden varieties, and breathtaking auction results that continue to surprise even seasoned collectors. As we move beyond the early silver years into the copper-nickel-clad era starting in 1965, the Washington quarter enters a new dimension of collectability, where rarity is not defined by metal composition alone but by the complexity of errors, minting locations, strike quality, and unexpected die anomalies. Many collectors began to overlook clad quarters, thinking they held little value, yet this assumption proved to be one of the biggest mistakes in modern coin collecting. Hidden among billions of clad coins are rare double strikes, broad strikes, off-center errors, and even transitional planchet mistakes worth thousands of dollars. For instance, the 1965 quarter struck on a 90% silver planchet meant for 1,964 coins is one of the most valuable transitional errors, and a specimen graded MS64 sold for more than $7,000. Even more astonishing was a 1970 S Washington quarter that turned up struck on a 1941 Canadian quarter, selling for $35,000, a numismatic marvel that still fascinates collectors today. As the years progressed, new variations appeared. The 1972 D double die obverse, the 1983 P quarters in exceptional grades, not found in mint sets, and the 1999 Delaware spitting horse error, all examples of how post-silver quarters could rival their older counterparts in value and excitement. The turn of the millennium brought perhaps the most revolutionary period in U.S. numismatics, the 50-state quarters program, launched in 1999. Each design represented a unique piece of state history, culture, or pride, transforming coin collecting from a niche hobby into a national phenomenon. People of all ages began checking their change daily to complete sets, sparking one of the largest collecting crazes since the introduction of the Lincoln cent. But within these billions of quarters, a handful became legends: the 1999 P Delaware spitting horse, the 2004 D Wisconsin extra leaf low and extra leaf high varieties, and the 2005 Kansas In God We Rust error caused by grease-filled dies. These varieties made headlines, with examples selling for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on grade. The program also introduced proof and silver-proof editions from the San Francisco Mint, which are among the most beautifully struck and highly sought-after modern quarters ever made. Collectors continue to chase flawless PF70 and MS70 graded examples, as perfect strikes can turn an otherwise common coin into a valuable rarity. After the State Quarters came the DC and Territory series in 2009, followed by the America the Beautiful Quarters, 2010 to 2021, which celebrated national parks and monuments, from Yellowstone to Yosemite, Mount Rushmore to the Grand Canyon. These designs carried immense artistic appeal and historical value, with some low-mintage coins, particularly those struck at the West Point Mint, reaching sky-high prices. The 2019 and 2020 W Quarters, struck with a W mint mark and released only in circulation, instantly became collector favorites. The 2019 W Lowell and San Antonio Mission Quarters in pristine MS67 or higher grades have sold for hundreds, and complete sets of all 5 designs from each year can fetch thousands. The U.S. Mint intentionally created these circulation-only W Quarters to reignite excitement among collectors, and it worked spectacularly. People everywhere started checking their spare change again. Meanwhile, the American Women Quarters program, launched in 2022, marked another fresh chapter in the Washington Quarters' long journey. Featuring inspiring women such as Maya Angelou, Dr. Sally Ride, Wilma Mankiller, Nina Otero Warren, and Anna May Wong, the series also reintroduced the original Laura Garden Fraser portrait of George Washington, the design initially proposed for the 1932 coin but rejected in favor of John Flanagan model. Finally, Fraser's elegant and dignified portrayal of Washington appeared on the obverse, correcting a nearly century-old oversight and becoming a numismatic symbol of progress. The reverse designs of these modern quarters are miniature works of art, showcasing diverse cultural, scientific, and social contributions that have shaped American history. Collectors have already identified potential rarities within this new series, such as minor die cracks, die chips, and strike-through errors, which could one day command impressive values as the market matures. In the auction world, Washington Quarters continue to set jaw-dropping records. Beyond the 1932 D and 1932 S silver issues, numerous rare varieties and era coins have reached staggering prices. For example, a 1943 S double die reverse quarter in MS67 condition realized over $20,000, and a 1950 D in pristine MS68 brought $17,000. Even-clad quarters, once dismissed as common, have defied expectations. The 1971 D struck on a silver planchet fetched nearly $10,000, while a spectacularly struck 1982 P in MS67 sold for $1,500. In more recent years, the 1999 P Delaware Spitting Horse error graded MS68 brought nearly $4,000, and some high-grade 2020 W quarters have achieved auction results exceeding $1,000. These prices prove that attention to detail and knowledge can turn pocket change into profit. High-grade coins certified by PCGS or NGC, especially those with full strike or deep cameo designations, command enormous premiums. For modern collectors, investing in proper grading and storage can dramatically increase the value of their collections. Another fascinating aspect of Washington Quarters is how their role in everyday commerce mirrors America's changing economy and design trends. From a patriotic symbol during the Great Depression to a tool of educational engagement through the state and women's quarters programs, the coin has continuously evolved while retaining its identity. Even the edges, once simple reeded rims, have been examined for varieties, with partial reading or smooth edge errors sparking collector curiosity. Mint sets, proof sets, and special collector editions from the Mint provide opportunities to own high-quality strikes, while circulation finds fuel the thrill of discovery. Collectors also seek specific die pairings, repunched mint marks, and proof-like business strikes that blur the line between regular circulation and special issues. In modern times, the Washington Quarter has become both a collectible treasure and a historical artifact in motion. The series teaches patience, sharp observation, and respect for the art of minting. From silver to clad, from Flanagan to Fraser, from George Washington's 200th birthday to the celebration of American heroes, this coin's journey mirrors the story of the nation itself, resilient, evolving, and full of hidden gems waiting to be discovered. Whether tucked away in an old collection, glinting in pocket change, or shining under a grader's lens, the Washington Quarter continues to captivate new generations. It reminds us that sometimes, the smallest objects carry the greatest history and value. So the next time you hold a quarter, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of numismatic history worth far more than 25 cents. Thanks for watching.